Hmm.
All right, we live.
Okay. All right. Before we start the show, I would like to give a shout out to my sister right here, Jewel, on her
Oh,
anniversary, and her husband, her brother-in-law, Norman.
Hey,
thank
Also, a
you.
shout out to my sister-in-law, Cynthia. Today's her birthday,
what
and
up, Sent?
also rest in peace. Also, rest in peace to Kango Kid. You know, our
Yeah.
condolences to him and his family. Also, big shout out to them as
Absolutely.
far as condolences. We lost a pioneer. With that being said, welcome to the episode of Just Cooking Podcast. I am Country Red, and you are
DJ Quinn.
And I'm Miss
Sis.
Dolphin.
All right, we have a special guest in the building, man. Let everybody know who you are and give everybody your resume, my brother.
Peace, peace, peace. This is Hazernomical with a Back Black Music Group. Um, I'm an artist, recording artist, producer, writer, performer, the whole creative gauntlet.
You wear a lot of hats with the hat on right
Oh, yeah.
now. All right,
Only the
cool,
good ones.
man. Let me ask you this. Yeah. So what was the first hip hop song you heard? Are you from Queens, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
So what was the first hip hop song you heard as a kid that made you want to jump into this game?
Man, I can't say the first one, but I can definitely say, like, looking back now and making music, I'm definitely
Hmm.
influenced by the stuff that we as hip hoppers we don't talk about much, like the Tribe Called Quest, the whole Kid and Play movement. Yo, why does nobody give props to Kid and Play? Like they were like ultra
I
dope.
know.
Like,
They set a
top notch.
blueprint.
I'm trying to tell you, like Salt and Pepper Kid
Yeah.
and Play, like that was a whole dope movement. They had that whole Love Bug thing going where it was like everybody was dancing. It was fun.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep.
We need, I got to do something like that.
That'd be dope.
That's gonna be my next trick.
That'd be dope.
Take us to Queens, man. How was it growing up in Queens? There's a lot of dope rappers we know that comes out of Queens, but how is it growing up in Queens?
It's dope. It's probably because thankfully because of music, I've traveled a plethora of places, and it gave me a chance to explore other people's environments and everything that goes along with it, like music, their religions, and just seeing how everybody else is. And I feel like I was open to those experiences because I come from a place of such great diversity. And it also allows me to reflect on a lot of different culturally and through my music
Right.
because as you say, like I'm from Queens, man. It's like all the people we just named are actually from Queens. Kid and Play, Salt and Pepper, Nas, everybody's from
Facts, facts.
What was your
so
first
yeah.
performance like?
My first performance was I'm trying to remember. I know I was like a really young kid. I'm trying to remember. It was probably either oh no, I remember it. I remember it now. So it was like a talent show
Hmm.
and like I came out with the hoodie on and the baggy jeans and was like completely ripping through some like crisscross type rhymes. Like, like I was just about that life. Like, yeah, man. Like I thought I was young crisscross, but
Yeah.
Hey, Chris Cross was hard though, man.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Another group we gotta give respect to.
Exactly. You
They and
got to.
they were like the young naughty by nature. So
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that
They
was.
was. They was.
yeah,
Wow. I mean, we think about the youngsters from Philly.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, the youngsters was hard too for Phil.
Yeah, they
Definitely,
were
definitely.
rebellious by nature.
What part of
All
Queens are you
right.
from? South Side, Jamaica, or
Both.
both? Okay,
That's why I usually just say Jamaica because it's like my mother. I grew up with her in Southside. My father was in Jamaica and Hollis, so I would say I'm from both because I just spent time bouncing from both.
got
All right.
Okay.
So, who is your Mount Rushmore of MCs out of Queens?
Out
I
of
was gonna save it
Queens,
for later, but since we are on Queens right now, who's your Mount Rushmore of MCs coming out of Queens?
I've I've I can't say my personal Mount Rushmore, but I would say
Okay.
like who I would expect everybody to respect. Like number one, I think overall as a complete MC, LL by far is like the greatest of all time.
facts. Facts.
Mm.
I agree
You know
with
what I
that.
mean?
I agree with that.
And that's just because he's not the most lyrical, he's not like the best, but he checks off everything consistently
Oh, he's
for his
lyrical.
whole career.
He's lyrical. He's hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He's definitely
excellent.
hard.
yeah. And he's consistent. Like over the span of his whole career, he's been that guy. And for that, I would definitely give him that top placement.
Mm.
He's definitely number one. Let me see. After L, I would definitely have to say Nas
Mm.
because Nas. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Not too much to say about that.
Exactly.
Right? And I don't know. There's so many other great MCs. Like I don't know. Can we include like Run DMC in that? Even though it's
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would.
well,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
because I know you said like artists, and that's technically a group, but
Yeah.
they're they set the bar for everything.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah.
They probably be first. I'll probably put
Yeah.
them first, then LL, then
But see,
Yeah.
but that was the thing. Like I feel as dope as Run DMC was, they didn't have the same longevity that L had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
although they crossed some barriers, L crossed more. You know what I mean? Like he was the first dude, and this is as like an MC. He was the first dude that made it cool to like be a rapper and shit. Like if you wanted to holler at a girl, you had to know how to sing. I was like, nah, bro. Like watch this.
So I need love.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Facts.
He came out with that I Need Love, and it was
Yeah.
like, oh, you could do that with a
Fact.
rap?
Yeah.
Like, oh shit. And they was with it, bro. Like
And the drums was
Around the Way Girl and all that. Like, yo,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
the females
Yeah.
was loving it, bro. Like nobody else was doing that at that time. You know what I mean? And he
Mm.
can still do it. He's like, yo, I can spit something for the dudes, spit something for the club, spit something for the ladies. It's like you gotta respect that, bro.
Hey, to me, the hardest freestyle was when L was in the basement and he was
Oh,
sitting on the toilet.
Uh-huh.
was it the one with Tigger on there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ki- Killing. Oh, he killed Jamie Foxx something hard on that one. He was killing Jamie Foxx on that one. That's when him and Fox they
Oh,
got into that little thing for
Any
any
given
given.
Sunday,
Oh
yeah.
man, he killed it. If
yeah.
anybody, yeah, if all the youngsters, y'all need to go back and listen to that. That
Look,
was a
if
hard
you watching
freestyle.
this and you have no idea what we talking about, you need to go back and revisit
Hey,
because
that's for
that's
Yeah.
sure.
definitely a good freestyle.
Yeah. Let's get into your music. What did
Mhm.
I apologize.
Mm.
Right?
With who's on there? Diamond,
Juke,
Juice
Juke's
Diamond.
Diamond.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
hard, man. Getting this,
good record.
how was that one created?
So honestly, that was one of those songs where it was a lot of people have made songs like, to be like disingenuous and say how much, they players and dons and pimps and all of that. And it was just like I heard the beat and me personally, I always just do what the beat say do. And the
Mm.
beat told me it's like, yo, look, I need one of those songs where you can actually speak freely. You know what I mean? About how, the relationships has been between, a man and a woman. So
Right.
this was it spoke on a couple of situations and just balled it up into one and basically I apologize.
Yeah, I
You
like
know?
that track. That was dope, man. That was a dope track.
Thank you. I
So was
appreciate it.
so was Love Me not something that you went through personally? Was that a situation you went through?
Love Me Not is a culmination of different relationships.
Mm.
Oh, okay. Okay. I see that.
Like I can't slam one person into that table. That was
Yeah.
a bunch of relationships. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
What do you
Wow.
think
I haven't.
What,
about,
what's your go,
huh?
go ahead, y'all. Go ahead. Go
Now I
ahead. Go ahead.
was
Go
just
ahead.
thinking like, wow, I haven't spoke about Love Me Not in forever.
Go ahead, sis.
Oh, I was just asking, what do you think about the direction of hip hop, the way it's going now? Because like Q said, your music kind of reminds me of like a 90s vibe. So what do you think about the direction of hip hop in 2021?
I think it's awesome. I think it's really awesome because we're in that place where, like, I remember just like as being a music historian to where how everything was funk for
Mm-hmm.
like for the longest period, and then out of nowhere came this thing called disco that completely negated the funk, and everybody like rocked with that, and then all of a sudden at the snap of a finger it was gone. Like nobody rocked with disco anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people like they have a negative like response to like some of the music that's out now, like the trap and the drill music, and it's like I get it, but it's like the good stuff always comes back. The stuff
Yeah.
that lasts forever, the stuff that we consider as classics will always be classics,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't get that by just making music for the now. And like in the 2000s, it was a lot of people just making music just to make money and sell records. But I feel like nowadays that is returned more to people really wanting to genuinely be dope.
Yeah. I agree.
Can't wait to see where it goes.
Man,
Yeah, I think we all
I
can't
know.
wait.
Right.
Right. So, what is your creative process when you go to the studio, whether it's writing or I guess being a writer or a producer? Like, what is your creativity? What kind of molds you into tapping into different genres of music, or just come up with an idea or a concept to make a song? If that makes sense.
I'm in a I'm in a privileged position because I have a pre-production studio where I live.
Mm.
So,
Mm.
Okay.
I wake up in the morning, roll out of bed, brush my teeth, and then I could just turn on the keyboard, and anything that I was dreaming of overnight, I can create.
Mm.
But
Mm.
aside from that, usually when I'm going into a project, and this is just if I'm going into a project, I like to familiarize myself with a particular sound. So it's like if I'm going to like let's say Hip Hop Shop Volume 2. Like I'm going into the crates, I'm listening to all the 80s, 90s hip hop, all the stuff that inspired that, you know, and I immerse myself in that feeling to where it's like, all right, I can sleep this. And I don't have to ask anybody, like I just go into that zone.
Mm.
That's usually how it happens.
Okay.
Something to the effect.
Now
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds
I
I
now I,
mean,
Go ahead,
funny,
Q.
like sometimes it's like more romanticized than that. Sometimes it's not. Like honestly, like have y'all seen that the Wu Tang season 2
Oh yes, I love. Oh my God, I love that show.
on Hulu? Man, how RZA made it seem like producing, where it's like yo, you just black out and then you got different musicians from different bands playing in your mind, and like yo, wow, I
Yeah.
really wish I
Yeah.
envisioned it. That would be so cool. I need that in my
yeah.
life. like I need the Honey Drippers actually performing for me in my mind while I'm sampling. That would be so dope.
Yeah.
Now I also read you write screenplays.
I do.
Can
I
you tell
do.
us to speak on that a little bit? What have you written a screenplay for?
So right now I'm currently helping actually do a film adaptation for a book. I can't actually speak on which particular book yet,
Okay.
because we're still in negotiations about everything. But hopefully by the end of summer, we should be, you know, ready to start shooting and have everything locked in.
Mm.
In the past, I've actually wrote for two different movies and a couple of like TV shows and stuff like that. Nothing too crazy, really underground stuff. But I like underground stuff because it keeps it pure.
Yeah.
It's like I've met a lot of people who like they hear like music, they hear like film, television, they're like, yeah, majors, majors. And I've worked with majors, I've worked with independents, and the number one thing I can say that no one wants to be independent, but it's like I don't know why though, because it's actually really dope. They give you a chance to get hands on everything. Where it's like when you're working with majors and people who are sinking like $1 million budget into something, it's just like literally we want this thing, this one thing. You do this one thing, don't touch anything else. But
Yeah.
independent, it's like, hey man, you want to try this? Yeah, go ahead.
Gotcha. How hard is it to write screen? Do you find it hard to write screenplays, or is it kind of like writing a rhyme?
Nah, man, I'm a creative. I love doing anything that's creative. Like I'll draw, I'll paint, I'll do graffiti, I'll make a beat.
Right.
Some of this happens all in the same day.
That's what's up. That's what's
Yeah.
up. Okay. What can you talk about the underground movies you've written screenplays for?
Sure. One of them was Skittles,
Okay.
and the second one was actually it was a no name. What I can't even remember the name of it right now because it was so long ago. Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm like completely blanking.
No, that's all good.
But it was just like I just helped. I didn't write the whole thing. So,
Gotcha. Okay.
but yeah, the one I can remember is definitely Skittles.
Skittles.
That was
Okay.
a that was a dope one. If y'all find that, that's really probably hard to find. If you find it, it's dope.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Uh,
I've also done scoring. So Skittles was the first time I tried my hand at scoring. The second time
no.
it was a Forced to Fight DVD.
Okay.
I scored that as well, and that was fun because that was like back when we were doing like mixtape DVDs and all of that,
Yeah.
and and I scored the whole thing. It was weird. It's
But
just
no,
like coming up
for
with different hip hop sounds.
for those people who don't know, what do you mean by when you say scoring?
Oh, scoring. So I do the background music as a like a productionist for like the scenes when people are talking and things are happening. Try to give you that feeling.
Okay.
So is that hard to
Background
put
music.
together? Is that hard to
No,
put together versus doing an actual song? No. Okay.
no, because they're both essentially doing the same job. Is you're trying to
Okay.
convey a feeling of the scene. So when you're making it for a movie, it's just like, all right, you know the contents and the pretense of what the words are saying, what the actors are, the emotion they're trying to get across.
Mm.
And music is, I'm trying to supply the soundtrack for your life. So I need to know, like, all right, well, this is the kind of scene that this music is going to take place in. And, you write it coming from that standpoint.
Gotcha.
Good times.
Yes, I bet you it
I read that you're an
is.
author. Is there any have you wrote any books, or and if so, who is your favorite author? I'm sorry. Have you written any books yet, and who is your favorite author?
I'm writing a book, which is
Okay.
actually harder than I would thought it was.
Okay.
Haven't finished
Yeah.
it yet. My favorite authors. Wow, that's like asking me my favorite artist. Like,
You
it's
never
it's
know.
like
Be
there's
coming
so
up.
many of them. Man. So all right, so there's obviously like if we're gonna talk about like horror and everything, like Stephen King will always be the top of that. As far as
Oh, okay.
books for us, definitely Baldwin. Like his stuff is like beyond moving. Like I don't know if you've ever read any of his stuff, but oh my god, it's like it's so in detail that it was just like wow, it's like I'm there, and it's so moving. So
Mm,
I guess yeah, he would probably be at my top.
okay. Do you like any motivational books? Do you read any, like Grant Cardone or anything like that? 48 Laws of Power.
I've read 48 Laws. Like I've read the original books that you should just read because you should read
Yeah,
it. Like you
yeah.
know, 48 Laws of Power is so interesting because it's like you have to read that book along with the Art of War to
Art of War.
Mm-hmm.
understand each other. You know what I mean? Because the Art of War reads like a VCR instruction manual. You know what I mean? It's like it's all of these things, but it's not real context.
Right.
But if you read 48 Laws of Power, then it's like, okay, I understand what this means. And man, as far as like Grant Cardone, funny enough, I actually worked with Vayner
Oh,
Mm.
like a year ago, 2 years ago.
Okay.
So that was fun. They're actually really inspirational over there. That was dope.
yeah, yeah. So,
You got
did
a
you
really
read the
good
10
question.
times? Huh?
I said,
Go
yeah, a
ahead.
really
Go
good
ahead.
question.
Yeah, we try.
We try. We try.
No, it's like sometimes you do an
We
interview and
try.
you like, I have no idea where that question came from. It was really left field. Y'all like did your homework. I like that.
Yeah, we try. We try to stay on topic, man. We don't want to have you all over the place, man. We don't want to have you sweating too
Hey, that's
much.
cool, man. I'm loving it.
Cool. Does somebody else have a question before I jump in?
No, I'm good.
All right. We're gonna transition to a segment called who are your top five songs that impacted your life? These are
Oof.
some of my questions that we normally ask every guest. So, who are your top five songs? You could say artists. You could be authors, screenplay writers. Doesn't matter. How has all
Hmm.
that impacted your life or changed your life?
I
You can
can't
mix them
say
up.
the most. I can't say the most influential songs of my life, but I can tell you there are songs that I know that I wish I was in the studio for.
Mm. Okay.
Ooh, okay. I'm
Like
glad you,
even if
I'm glad
I
you
was
said that.
just a fly on the wall, like I can tell you there's certain sessions I wanted to be a part of, like
All right.
Outcast, Bombs Over Baghdad.
Mm.
Mm.
Ooh,
Like I would give anything to be there and watch them create that song
Yeah.
because it is so like so left field. And
Yeah.
I
oh
remember
yeah.
when that song came out, no one knew what the hell was going on, and it's like it still vibrates right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
what else? Pretty much anything on songs in the key of life.
Mm.
I would have wished I was in the studio for. So you could like use that for two to four, like anything in
Stevie
there. But
Wonder, right?
uh,
Yeah.
uh,
Wow.
aside from that, um, hmm, ooh, take five, take
Mm.
five.
Mm.
I definitely wish I
Okay.
was in for that. Like that song is crazy. And let me see what else. What else would round out my top five studio sessions? I'd wish I would have attended. Oh, anything from Quincy and Michael Jackson's era, like that
Mm.
whole Bad and Thriller.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I
Yeah.
wish I was there for that. That would have been awesome. I'd be a greater person if I was there.
Absolutely.
Honestly,
Absolutely.
honestly, like to be that must have been so much magic, so much.
Let's get into the your track called B. How did that come about? That's another one of my hot the tracks I like.
Drive by.
So B was one of those songs that so if you and this is something I never actually like talk about, but if you follow the track listing of the hip hop shop, it's
Okay.
actually a semi story,
Mm.
Hmm. Break that down.
right? So
Mhm.
it starts off with the commencement, which is like a weird way to start it out because it's like, no, it's just an intro. Like, no, it's a commencement.
Gotcha.
You know, it's the beginning of this whole thing. But the beginning is not actually the beginning. The beginning actually starts in Blind Alley.
Mm.
I
So
love Blind Alley. Yeah.
thank you. So
You're welcome.
everything that you're hearing is pretty much like how I started in the beginning of my career with the great intro, the commencement, going into what I thought was my niche, the thing that I had to do that everybody would love, which was hip hop. But from the hip hop, it was pretty much like when I started, I thought it would be like everything like any artist when you go into doing anything, you're like, yo, I'm gonna do this. This is gonna be dope. Everybody's gonna love it. Everybody's gonna fuck with it. But then at the end, it's just like, yeah, it was alright, you know.
Right.
And and it's like I've done shows like that, man, where it was just like, man, I gave it my all. Like I walked out of there hoarse. I didn't have a voice. I performed my heart out and did it. It was just like yeah,
Yeah.
calling the next artist to the stage, you know. So that that brings us to like I hear him say because like after you walking off, like you hear them saying all the stuff they're saying. Some is good, some is bad, some is constructive,
Yeah.
and that song was pretty much just me replying to them mentally, like how I felt, and from that we actually walk into Tribe Vibe because it's like as soon as you leave all of that, you with your boys and you're like, you know what? Yo, let's just kick it for the people who request like a tribe does, man. Let's just vibe out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And which brings us to the beginning. So now we're in Blind Alley where you're reminiscing about all of those things that took place early in your career and how everything was easier then.
Mm.
Mm.
Like, although you were battling all of this and, hear him say it, it's like you wanted to reply so badly and you wanted to be all of these things. But then, you're in this Blind Alley reminiscing about how easy it was when it was just that,
Mm.
Mm.
which brings us to B, when you realize all of these things and you come into understanding of who you are, what you represent, what you want to do. So it's kind of like a character arc when you hit B,
Mm.
because it's like, I know what I've done, I know what I've done wrong, I know what I've done right, and now I've just discovered who I can be
Mm.
from all of this.
Mm. It's like
That's
So
story
that,
time.
yeah. That's
yeah,
classic
right.
though. That's classic though. I like it.
Listen,
That's
he has
yeah.
volumes coming up.
That's
To the brother.
classic. Okay. That explains a lot too. From the like you said when you listen to it that explains a lot. I got
But it's funny though because like I don't know, y'all bring the best out of me. This is the first time I've actually ever told anybody
you.
that.
Aw.
I appreciate that, man. That's love
Yeah,
right there, man. That's love.
Yeah. That's
but
that's
I feel like this is it was a great place for it to come out. So,
absolutely.
Ooh, it's the energy, man. It's the energy.
hmm definitely.
So, talk to us about your debut single, "Love Me Not." What was that like?
Mm.
That it was like a world hit. What was that like? I know it's kind of
Love Me
going
Not.
back, but just the initial first feeling, when it first came out, that first one, the baby. You know what I'm saying?
Love Me Nots was like climbing a mountain because I
Okay.
embarked on it. I started. I didn't actually know that I was going to go anywhere with it. I didn't actually even want to record the song. It was one of those, like I was playing around in the studio. My homeboy was there with me. He's like, "Hey, you should record that," and I'm like, "Ha ha ha ha, yeah, right." He's like, "No, but seriously, you should record that," because it was a regular loop with some drums I put to it, and it's like I was just spitting some stuff. And he's like, "Bro, that is dope. Like
Mm.
seriously, like." And I recorded it, and I put it out, and I put it out back when everything was digital was like really starting. Like no one was really paying it any attention. It was like mostly like CDs.
Mm.
So I put it out, and then I didn't care about it, and look back at it, and then next thing I know, it was huge. It was huge. Like a lot of people had heard of it. Like I mean, the song was playing in like Europe and France and all of these places, and people are using it in YouTube videos, and I'm like, what? I'm
Wow, that's
like
crazy.
people still till right now use that song for stuff,
Mm.
and it's like it was in the on the Mountain Dew tour,
Mm.
crazy stuff,
Yeah.
I hope you got
and
your I hope you got your check for that though.
I got a little bit of check off that because I
Okay.
didn't know I didn't know what it was going to be, and my business wasn't on it yet.
Right, right.
But
Yeah.
what I can say though, I did manage to leverage that song into a lot of great relationships,
Absolutely.
which is actually better than a check if I
Yeah,
think
Yeah.
about it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because
But checks
relationships
are
are,
always appreciated.
yeah.
You
but
know?
like you said, them relationships go a long way too, though. So that's
Oh yeah,
actually,
definitely.
yeah, facts on that.
But yeah, Love Me Not. Man, I did not know that song was gonna. If I don't even know how I could have made that song like any better or any worse. It was just like it was what it was, and man, it's still a dope song. I fuck with it.
Let, let me ask you: do you like producing better, or do you like writing, being an MC better?
I don't I don't know how to compare the two,
Mm,
because they're both extensions. So I produce to the best of my ability. I write to the best of my ability, and honestly, at the end of the day, I hope people like it.
yeah,
But it's art, and one thing I can say is like me and my camp, how we do things. We concentrate. Our focus is mainly on the art. Like a lot of people come out with music, like how we were saying earlier. Their concentration is to make the money off of it, or to make something like, oh, I want to make something like Kanye's new joint or Drake or whatever. Like when we come out with stuff, our concentration is the art. That
gotcha.
is the thing that we're looking for, and we figure out how to sell it later if that day ever even comes. But
Yeah,
so when it comes to doing production and writing, it's literally just about I'm gonna do the best I can to convey this feeling, and hopefully people catch on to it, they feel it, and if so, that's dope, man.
yeah.
So far, we haven't heard any bad reviews, so I guess everybody feels
That's what's up.
Right. So if you could write a song for an artist, who would it be and what genre?
uh, I want to sound cocky or nothing, but myself.
I
Yeah,
like
That's
it.
right.
I like it.
because like
Say me.
as a musician, I'm also a fan.
Mm,
So when I hear certain people, like I know what they're supposed to sound like. Like for instance, I was just having this conversation the other day, like because I brought up Quincy Jones and Michael Jackson, right? So
Right.
in this conversation, they were like, "Oh, so well, would you produce for Michael Jackson? Like, if he was still around?" And I'm like, "Hell no!" Like, like
mm,
if I was there, I'd be like, "No, you got to go back to Quincy. Like, you need to make that again. That was dope.
yeah,
I can't do that. You need that magic."
yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like certain people just had that chemistry, and if you listen to all the greats, they've had the people who they were matched with perfectly to do what they were doing, like
hmm,
Swiss Beats and DMX,
Mm.
uh,
Right.
Biggie and Easy Mo B,
yeah,
um,
Yeah.
Gangstar. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
like like people had the people that they were locked in, and it was just like you can't come in to that. Now I
yeah,
could say I can go out on the street and find somebody with talent, and I can give them like a song or two, or I can coach them into it. Maybe we can develop that. But as far as anybody who's out that's made like a classic, like I feel that they already have their team in line,
Mm.
and either I would want them to go back to their old formula, or
yeah.
I'd look at them crazy like, why do you want to go this direction? Like, why do you want to do what we're doing? Like, don't do that. Be
Mhm.
yourself.
All right.
That makes
Um,
sense.
where does your name come from? What does it mean? Why did you choose Hazernomical? What does it mean to you,
Oh, I
or what?
stole it.
What's the meaning?
I stole it. There was this guy named Hazernomical, and I was just like, you're not using the name right. Give me it. Nah, I'm joking. Imagine though. Imagine if that's what happened though. So So honestly, the name just came from like I was doing graffiti at the time, and I had another name that I was writing, and
Mhm.
I got caught, so I couldn't use it anymore. And my homie was like, "Yo, you need a name that's really short that you can write and not get caught with," because the other one was kind of
Mhm.
long. It's like 7 letters long. It was like, so I'm like, all right, fine, we just tag Haze because John Hazelton, so Haze it works. Then it was just
Mhm.
like I was sitting there rhyming one day, and it was like I needed a word that rhymed with phenomenal. I was like, "Fuck it, Hazernomical." And it's like, yes, magic,
Boom.
love it when a plan comes together. And then from there, Hazernomical, man.
Okay.
Excuse me.
But
Weird story, right?
Bless you. Yeah. Nothing too deep, just
Yeah, like it wasn't deep at all, but it was just like,
Yeah.
wow, that really that's how it comes. Oh, okay, but that's
Yeah.
how it works. Things are just organic like that sometimes.
Yeah.
mm,
Natural. Yeah. I get it.
you want to do the who you got
So,
segment? Oh, okay. Yeah. We can do the wine on
I
in.
said she could do the wine on in,
Oh,
and
me?
we'll jump into
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
It's my turn.
Go ahead, go ahead. Yeah,
So
it's
Hayes
your
usually
turn. The mic in your hand.
my, huh?
I said the mic
Anyway.
is in your hand.
Okay. Okay. So Hayes usually I'm Miss Dawson, aka Dawson Jules. I
Hmm.
try wines and I paint earrings. I focus on arts and colors and symbols. My earrings are like me, my personality on my earrings. So I do this
Right.
every Wednesday. I do a live on Facebook. I try wines. I rate it from 1 to 5 because I love me some wine. And I also do like a, a flash sale on my earrings. And that's like I said,
Okay.
every Wednesday on Facebook. Dawson Jules, Miss Dawson. Those are two names I have on Facebook and Instagram. Um, Last week I was not on Facebook because it was my anniversary. Well, yeah,
Oh,
last Wednesday.
happy anniversary, belated.
Thank you. Thank you. But with Kwanzaa coming up, I mean also Christmas and also Kwanzaa, I do have a pair of earrings that represent Kwanzaa to me. These are the pair that I have. Can y'all see them?
Other way. There you go. Right
Right,
there.
the other one, right there, right there, right there.
Self-determination and faith and purpose is what these symbols mean on these earrings. Like I said, I focus on symbols, and then I also do necklaces. This is a necklace I did. It's to me, like I said, it's a
The other way, right there.
what? Okay.
No, right
Look
there.
like
You
a look.
good, you good, you good.
I'm showing y'all
Go
the
down a
whole
little bit. Go
thing.
down.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's a
that's
long
that's
No,
for the
necklace.
that's super
viewers'
dope.
business. Okay.
Yeah, so like I said, that's my freestyle collection. But like I said, I focus on those things. I love art. I love earrings. I love to be different. Um, and that's what I do. So that's every Wednesday on Facebook at Miss Dawson, and then also on my Instagram, Miss Dawson Jules at I think 8:30 Eastern time. Um, I have a question for you because a lot of people, a lot
Hold
of
up before you
entrepreneurs.
ask. Hold up, sis. Before you ask, how much is the price? Somebody might want to buy some.
Oh,
How much
I
would it
always
be for
Right.
each
forget
one?
that.
Okay.
um,
Big brother got you. Big brother got
it
Tell them if
ranges from
if they got to ask, they
15.
can't afford it.
Yeah,
you.
it ranges between 15 to 25, and
Oh,
that's
that's
with
that's
shipping and
doable.
handling. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's extra fun. Okay.
But I have a question because a lot of time with entrepreneurship, with jobs, with anything you're doing, you always have your why. So what is your why, and what pushes you to keep going even when you feel like, damn, like I don't feel like doing this today. Like what is your why, and what pushes you to keep going?
My whys change as I get older,
Mhm.
wiser, go through experiences. My whys change.
Okay.
When I started, my why was because if I don't do this, things will continue to be the way that they are,
Mhm.
and that would have made me a very unhappy person, and I would have walked down a completely different path that would have took me somewhere. I don't know. Like it's always been in my belief and my feeling that every day you spend doing the things you're not supposed to be doing will literally eventually become like hell or some kind of cell that you're caged in because you're supposed to be out there. So if you ask me now, my why is because I have a right, not even a right, I would
Mm-hmm.
say. I have uh like I owe it to everybody to put my talents out there
Mm.
Yeah.
because no one else is going to do what I can do. Like you go to the graveyard, that shit is filled with things that we'll never know, things we'll never see, songs we'll never hear. So
Mm.
it is my
Wow.
duty to get these things out because I can.
Yes.
So that's my why. That's why I continue to do it. Plus, I love it. And
Yeah, of course.
what's better than doing the things that you love, right?
Yeah. We all want to do that. We all want to do that.
Indeed.
That's probably that's probably the best response I ever heard so far since doing the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Made me
Appreciate it.
think about my my stuff too, and us collectively and just individually, maybe just think about some things. I got to go back and figure out. So I appreciate that, brother.
Oh no, definitely. Because like at the end of the day, it's really what it's all about. It's like can can I provide some kind of value while I'm here?
Mm.
If so, how can I provide said value?
Mm-hmm.
Who needs that?
Mm.
Reach out to them, get it to them, because you never know. Like you might do something that inadvertently changes someone's life.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Every day we're in that position. We're like one decision away from changing our life or changing someone else's. So, you know, definitely do the things that you can, because who else will?
Mm.
Yeah, that's
I
real.
like that.
You want to do the Who You Got segment, or you want me to do it?
You do it this time. Then let me know. We'll see after
All
the
right.
show.
So this is a segment we got. Who you who you got segment. So since we gonna stay in Queens, so
Okay,
between these two rappers, who would you take?
okay.
Cool G Rap or 50 Cent?
Wait, take him for what though?
Who you got? Cool G Rap or 50 Cent?
Like, wait, are we talking about like business or are we talking about rhymes, shootouts? What are we saying?
This is probably rhyming.
Just
Rhyming.
Ramen.
Oh, okay.
Who you?
Lyrics. He probably gonna say Coogee. That's Coogee rap to me. I'm sorry.
All right, all right. So rapping, I would definitely say Cool G Rap. Cool G Rap is
Mmm. Over 50
he's that guy.
Cent?
50 Cent is
Yeah,
tough. Like, don't
man.
get it twisted. But I'm
I
pretty
mean,
sure 50 would be like, no, Cool G Rap though.
I, 50 got some bars too, though. 50 got bars.
Oh yeah,
He
definitely.
had
But
bigger
if we didn't
hits.
have Cool G Rap, we wouldn't have Big Pun.
Facts. Facts.
Mm.
Facts.
And Big Pun was like just ultra dope. So
So if I turned that around and said Cool G Rapper LL Cool J, then who would it
LL Cool J.
be? Mmm.
Because like I said, like across the board, L's just that guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? You'd be hard pressed to find somebody better than
Then L.
L
Yeah.
as an overall MC. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow. Mm.
Facts. Facts. Okay.
So what's it like being signed to a back block music group? Tell us
Oh
about that
man,
experience being signed to that imprint.
it's wonderful. It's like probably every independent artist's dream
Mm.
Okay.
is to be a part of some a label like Backlot because it's filled with a bunch of dope dudes who don't get in your way and go out their way to try to help you to succeed and get your dream.
Mm.
Shout out to Jim Diamonds and Chief Rekka and like
Shout out.
everybody, Ledger, Math, everybody that's down with this whole backlog thing. But I can tell you, since I've gotten here, man, it's been nothing but a great experience. And man, it's like shit. I wish everybody had the opportunity to get on a label like this.
Wow, that speaks volumes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Would you go back and tell your younger self anything? I know a lot of people be like, well, if I could just go back and tell my younger self this, or I would change this. Would you change anything, or what would you tell your younger self?
So I wouldn't change anything.
Okay.
Like I always have these conversations and think back like, so if you, because if I was to go back at a certain point, I'm pretty sure I would forget what I was supposed to be doing. Like, yeah, because like all the things that you have gone through are the things that make you the person who you are.
Facts.
Yes.
I forget some crucial step and not do it and become somebody completely different.
Yeah.
And I don't know what those steps were. It might have been like a chance meeting with someone or a conversation or, something I overheard when I was, on the bus or something. And it's like, who knew that that little thing was the seed that was planted in my mind that made me become the person that I am? So would I change anything? No, because I made the best decisions I could with the information I had available.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand those decisions now. And as Jay-Z said, in order to survive, you got to learn to live with regrets. So
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't change anything. But if I could tell myself something, I would say, don't give up, keep going, because this is part of it.
Mm-hmm.
This is the learning phase, you know? Also,
Yeah.
invest in Apple. That I would
Mm.
change.
Mm.
What do you say?
Invest
Invest in
in that
Apple? What
early.
do you say?
Invest in Apple.
Yeah, invest in Apple
I told
early.
you that, Q. Told you that, Q.
Wait, hold on. Before we go any further,
I'm gonna take my bonus check and invest in that one.
since
I'd be
we
a billionaire right now.
since we right since since we right here, kind of
Hmm.
right on this topic, give the young people 5 helpful tips that helped you in the music business.
Number one, stay consistent. This
Mm-hmm.
above all, everything. Anything that you do in your life, it doesn't matter whether it's music, whatever. You have to be consistent. Because, and this is my personal opinion. You can be the smartest person. And when I say smarter, I mean like smarter than, your average person. So you're like borderline genius.
Mm.
And you can get stuff done, right? Or you can have work ethic. You don't have to be particularly smart if you have work ethic, because people will see you and they will help you. Or you could be a genius and come out with ways for you to be lazy about it.
Mm.
But you can't
Yeah.
like teeter totter. You one or the other. You know what I mean? If you're not a genius, have that work ethic, be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
3, find people who are successful in the things that you want and study their blueprint. You know what I mean? Like, it was hard for me as when I was younger, because it was just like there were people that I admired, but there was no one whose path I wanted to take. So, I eventually had to become the person who I wanted to follow. But
Mm-hmm.
it was hard because it's like, well, this person has some traits, that person has some traits, and it's like, but they have two different ways of coming up with the same result. So it's like, whose path do you follow? You got to figure it out. But the thing that you learn from that, though, are there are variable ways to come up with a solution. So definitely study the blueprint of people who came before you, even if you don't follow
Mm.
it. And five, I would say mindfulness.
Mm.
A lot of people get caught up in, the past, things that have happened. You can't change that.
Mm-hmm.
People get
Fact.
caught up in the future of what could happen, but it hasn't
Mm-hmm.
happened yet. But you know how the future is written right now,
The
in
present.
this moment.
Yeah.
What you're doing now is going to be your future, which will one
Mm-hmm.
day be
Talk
your
that.
past. So
Fact.
Wow.
be mindful in the moment of what you're doing right now. Be present. Be aware of everything that you're doing. And it's like some people, like, man, I think somebody asked me about Steve Harvey, because he made that comment about like how if you want to be successful, you have to pretty much be like awake all day. And they were asking me if I agree with that. I'm like, no, like, because I know firsthand, not just because, I've done it myself, but I also know because, I studied this, like the effects of what happens when you stay up for 24, 42 hours. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
this shit sounds great, but it's like, bro, you actually start lacking. Your brain cells aren't working. Your computer needs to
Mm-hmm.
run. You can't run at that pace that long. You're gonna do irreparable harm to whatever you were trying to do, because you're going to be half-assing at that, and you're doing like self-harm to your body. So it's like,
Facts.
no, sleep as much as you need to. But the thing about it is, it's not about what time you wake up. It's about what you do when you wake up.
Mm.
We all have 24 hours. Even if you sleep 8 of it, even if you sleep 10 of it, that's fine. But the rest of the 14 hours, spend it doing the things that you say you love. Figuring
Yeah.
out ways to make your future self happy.
Mm.
Being consistent. You know what I mean?
Facts.
That's some good stuff.
Just my opinion.
I
You want to
mean,
add motivational speaker to your list of things.
Man, I've been told that before. It's funny. They like you sure you don't like. That's the two things that I always get accused of that I've never done. It's like
Hmm.
one is being a motivational speaker, which I've never done, and the other is being a singer. For some apparent reason, people see me and they automatically assume I'm an R&B singer. I'm like, really, really? Do I have that vibe, that flavor? I guess, but I mean, I can hold a tune, but I'm not Keith Sweater, Alan Raymond. Good
Hmm.
times.
I have one more question. What
Let's do
advice would you give to the young black youth today?
it.
Can you hear me? Oh,
Yeah,
there we
the advice that I would
go. Okay.
give to young black people today is start a business. Actually, you know what? Even better than that, fail.
Mm.
Hell, yeah.
Because, and I'm not gonna say just black people. I would say minorities have this thing where we were brought up and we were taught to fear failure
Mm.
because we got to be perfect, we got to be better, we got to do better. We're supposed to be all, the brightest stars. But let me tell you something. It's within our failure that we learn.
Mm.
Yeah.
You can't exactly get the experience of it until you fail that. And then once you fail, you bounce back. You fail face forward, you keep moving, you keep pushing forward. But that failure is essentially what's going to make you tough. It's going to give you that drive. It's going to make you more resilient, and you'll know the mistakes that you've made firsthand. Nobody can tell you that. That's invaluable information that no one can pass along to you because you know it for firsthand. So fail and move forward from your failures. Don't give up.
All right.
Well, tell everybody where they can find your music at, man. What you got coming up next, videos, all of that.
We're always shooting a video for something. Tribe Tribe Vibe is out now. I don't know
Mm.
which is going to be the next video we release. It might be for hip hop. It might be for I Apologize. I don't know yet. But
Mm.
these things are in the making. And as far as where you can find the music is literally on every platform. If
Mm.
it's not, feel free to hit me up because I'm on everything. Everything is Hazernomical, so as long as you can figure out how to spell it, you should be able to get to me. That's the only downside to my name. Like people have no idea sometimes, like how, but it's actually spelled phonetically. So
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully, if you can figure out how to spell it, I mean, you're good. I'm there. Send me a DM, be like, hey, Haze, I love your interview. The podcast is dope, and I'm trying to find your music, and I'd be like, okay, well, where did you look? I'll put it there. But we're distributed from Sony Orchard, so it should be everywhere anyway.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, if y'all, I'll second that video on. I apologize. I say y'all gonna shoot a video for that. I'll second that one.
Look, if we shoot the video, man, y'all got to be in it.
Hey, let me know.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Let us know for sure.
Appreciate it.
We can
Likewise.
do this.
Appreciate that.
We'll come up with some interesting theories for
Yeah,
what we're gonna do in the video. Like, man, let's do it.
absolutely, absolutely.
That'll work. Anybody have any more last minute questions before I do the closing quote before we end the show? Any shout
No, we
outs, any
very.
plugs, any? All right. So at the end of the show, I like to bless everybody with a closing quote. So I'm gonna go ahead and lead into that right now. Go like this. Strength lies in differences, not in similarities. I'm gonna say it again. Strength lies in differences, not in similarities. This is by Stephen R. Covey. Strength lies in differences, not in similarities. Keeping it short and simple. Feel free to, you know, to explain or acknowledge that, or we can just close the show and leave it at that. So, not,
That was a
yeah,
very poignant quote.
Yeah,
yeah.
very straight to
Excuse
the
my
point.
fumbling at the end. Phoned the ball on the 1 yard goal line, but excuse me, they don't call me country red for nothing, man. My cadence kind of be off. Y'all all right? Y'all used to it.
Hey man,
I
this is
dig
They
it.
our
gonna be all
this is our last show of the year, man. We appreciate you coming
right. Yeah.
through.
Yeah,
Um,
Wow, I'm
definitely
glad I
appreciate
could
it.
end it off with y'all.
yeah, you know what? We might
Oh
do
yeah.
a I don't know what y'all are doing. We might do a New Year's show and just
Okay.
have a whole bunch of guests come on, stop on, old guests. So we'll have to see
We
what's
probably
going
need to
on.
do like a performance or something, man. Everybody just do like a 3 minute,
We could,
4 minute song or something.
I'm
yeah, we
with
could
it.
Something
set
No, that's a
something.
good
DJ,
idea.
man.
We could set something up like that. We can, you know,
Yeah,
what
I mean, I really enjoyed this, man. Anything y'all need, just feel free to hit me up. I'll do whatever.
absolutely. Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
definitely
Thank you.
most def. Yeah, we'll have to get in that video too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm 100% serious about that. I'm ready
Yeah,
to go. I'm
absolutely.
about to close jokes right now.
Yeah,
I
that's
will.
absolutely. Well, man, if we appreciate you coming through. Salute, brother.
Salute, my brother. Salute, King. Happy anniversary, happy
Peace.
birthday, everybody. Y'all get some rest. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, all that good stuff.
Yeah, stay tuned. We
Hmm.
might have a
Let's
New
get
Year's
through it.
show, maybe. It depends.
It's gonna
I'll
be
have to
wild and
talk
crazy if
tomorrow,
we do.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
man. Who's gonna show up first?
Yeah, we.
Everybody gonna be there.
Absolutely. All right, man. Well, we
All
appreciate you,
right.
brother. Salute.
Definitely.
Peace.
Peace.
Salute.
All right, we out.